This is Amy Poehler. My new movie, Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2, is coming to theaters June 14th, and it's making me feel joy and sadness and anger, definitely some disgust, and I think a little fear. But I'm also feeling these new emotions like anxiety, embarrassment, envy, and ennui.
It's what you call the boredom.
Okay, that one was weird. It's going to be the feel everything movie of the summer. Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2, rated PG, parental guidance suggested. Only in theaters June 14th. Get tickets now.
Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race recap show for All Stars Season 7 Episode 2 titled Snatch Game. My name is Joe Betance and I am joined, as always, by two disgusting co-hosts. From the podcast Bravo Bravo Effing Bravo, please say,
"You can fuck me in the ass!"
To Nathan Brown.
Hello, Nathan. How are you?
Hello. I enjoyed that little clip 0.
Oh, yeah. Well, oh, wait, the music keeps playing. Sorry. I was like, something's missing. Like, what's missing there? Nathan, it's only been like 24 hours since we've seen each other, but man, what an eventful 24 hours that was.
Oh my God. Can you believe that thing happened?
That thing happened, your dog humping your bed, but also, oh no, he's just jumping on it. But I hadn't watched episode 2, and so now we're doing episode 2. I intentionally had stayed away and saved it so that when I gave yesterday's opinion, it was only for that. Now I'm ready to do Snatch Game. We watched the Snatch Game. But Nathan, like I promised yesterday, we are not doing any more of the episodes alone. We have somebody else with us. Jake, take it away.
And from Bloody Podcast, please say,
I've fought worse monsters in Hollywood for years!
To Lauri Roggenkamp.
Hello, Lauri.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. Now, Nathan and Lauri and I, not only did we just record a whole Just Between Us Girls segment, we went back in time to like 2012 and did the Harlem Shake. And we also did the mannequin challenge.
It sounded amazing.
It sounded amazing. Oh, yeah. It was great for an audio medium.
Yeah.
Doing that. Yeah. But if you want to enjoy all that live and in person, go over to patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia and join there. And I will say, actually, I'll say this, and anyone who was here live yesterday and is live today will understand what I'm talking about. The show that was published, sorry, I have COVID. Lauri gave me COVID. The show that was published is very different from the show that was live. Did you listen to the published show, Nathan?
I sure did.
Yeah.
Some careful edits there, Joe.
There was some very careful editing there. Carson had dropped by and we had to he was so offensive. We had to take him out of the show. That's how offensive he was. So, if you would have heard it live, you would have heard it. Go to patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia to get the ability.
And if you want to see us do challenges, you just got to date Lauri, because only our partners benefit.
Yeah, Lauri really has the star. Lauri's girlfriend has the highest tier imaginable.
She really does.
Yeah. So now go ahead and do that. Patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. All right. Well, guys, we talked to Nathan. He's the permanent second chair here, and he lives in Australia because they dropped 2 episodes this week. This is his Monday morning that we're recording this. He's about to go to work. So we're going to jump right into it. But before we do, today's obviously the Snatch Game. So I wanted, who better to have on the Snatch Game than the goddess of glitz, glamour, goth, gossip, and gore, but also an icon in the Los Angeles improv and comedy scene. Even before she was a host on Afterthought, we used to have Lauri on to talk about the Snatch Game.
Yeah.
And so, Lauri, we have you here. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to be here and to talk about comedy. You know, it's something I know that very well. So, I'm excited.
All right. Well, let's listen to the rest of this intro here.
This week, the girls impersonate 2 celebrities in a Snatch Game doubleheader. On the runway, the category is the pleather principle. Jinx Monsoon and Trinity the Tuck are named the top 2 All-Stars of the week and each won a legendary legend badge before duking it out in a lip-sync battle for their legacies. After all was said and done, Jinx Monsoon was crowned the winner of the lip-sync and chose to block Shea Coulee. Ladies, name 2 things you liked about the episode and 1 thing you did not.
Lauri, let's start with you.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
This seems like the intro for the last other episode, the first episode.
Well, the just the winners and losers were wrong. I think
Trinity
the challenge
was not
correct.
Yeah, Trinity was not blocked. Shea Coulee was blocked.
Guys, I wasn't paying attention. I think,
COVID brain.
You know, that's COVID brain. But I mean, who was I the one? Okay, here's what I will say. And Nathan, I'll ask you: was I the one talking?
Oh no, that was Jake.
Yeah.
Usually he's so professional.
Yes, I know. Usually he's a professional.
Outline. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask Jake. Jake, what's going on here? Why did you read the one from last week?
Listen, asshole, I just read what I'm given.
Okay, well, if that's the case,
there's that bad attitude again.
Look, in defense of Jake, that is true. So I kind of think producer Zach, because all I do is I take the script, I copy and I paste it and I give it the document to Jake. Okay. Now, in fairness, I share part of the blame because I'm supposed to copy edit it, and I did, and I missed it. But I think producer Zach Birch, right now, Luke is masturbating in joy.
I guess I heard. Didn't you guys tell me earlier that Jake is a big fan of mine?
Mm-hmm. He sure is.
Yeah.
Hi, Jake. It's nice to finally meet you.
I'm actually a little nervous.
Oh, that's sweet. You don't have to be nervous.
Yeah, why?
I'm a big fan of your bit about how Mexicans are lazy.
Oh.
What? I never said that. That's not... All right. Now, you're not a fan of mine because I never joked about that.
Remember you had that joke about how you meet all your girlfriends outside of Home Depot?
What?
No.
Lauri.
No. You know what? If you're going to be this slow, you can't be this racist. I'm just going to call it, okay?
Hey guys, I'll be right back.
What?
I need to check on some eggs.
You need to check. That was really really weird.
That's
all
fine.
right. So Lauri, we got it wrong. I'll go put the right Jake one in later. But what I want to know is
here. Find out what you're doing with the forks.
I'm not doing anything with the forks.
Yes, you are.
Well, you need to look.
And I'm not going to argue about it.
There's no place I put them.
I'm not going to let you use another fork until you find where the other ones are.
I put them in the dishwasher.
Jake, you obviously don't.
I do.
Jake, they are obviously going somewhere.
These are small forks.
I'm so fucking tired of you arguing against the obvious. The forks are gone. Someone is taking them out of the house and putting them somewhere, and it's not me.
I don't take them out of the house either.
Yes, you do.
Oh, this is awkward. Does Jake know that we're listening to him?
I looked in the dishwasher.
Well, I need to check it to see if there are forks in there.
I just emptied the dishwasher.
I was just...
When I'm done, I'll move.
But, have you? I was...
I don't think we should. I'm a little uncomfortable.
I feel bad for Jake.
I know. Well, guys, what are we going to say to him? Because do you think he knows that he left his microphone on?
I don't think he does. Especially Jake's aunt. I think is going to be really upset.
Jake's
so stupid.
Hey guys. Sorry about that.
Yes.
Hi, Jake.
Yeah. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I was just checking my eggs.
Oh.
Great.
Okay. We'll have to come back.
What did you use to stir them? Did you use a spoon or a ladle?
Oh, you guys heard that? This is awkward.
Yeah, we heard.
Poor Jake.
Poor Jake. He left his microphone on.
No, Jake, don't quit. Oh, I've been there, bud. I've been there. You know?
Sorry, my aunt is just a little cranky because the housekeeper came over and she has to wear bottoms.
Oh.
That makes sense.
I'm gonna really miss Jake when my voice comes back.
Okay, Joe. I want you to be honest, and I'm not upset. But I want you to be perfectly honest with me.
Yeah.
Is Jake an AI that you created because you missed me?
No, he's a guy. I hired him. You know, ironically, I found him outside. But, you know, with those, I find him outside of Office Depot. And Yeah.
He was just standing outside Office Depot.
He stands outside Office Depot. He's one of these guys who has the shirt and tie on, and I drive by in my Hyundai Elantra, and he gets in the back of the car, and he goes, "What do you need me to do?" And so I go, "I need you to do some voiceover work for me." That's what happened. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I guess I'll accept that as an answer.
Yeah. Anyway, so when you guys hear this at home, Jake will have read the correct thing in the intro, so you will hear it. So, Lauri, what are your two favorite things about this episode? The one thing you didn't like?
My two favorite things were the two Snatch games. Mm-hmm. I love them, and then my least favorite thing. You know what? I'm just gonna say, because I was gonna make a commentary, but I feel like that could be saved for later.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's really nothing I guess maybe it just felt like it went on a little long, but I mean that's not really even a complaint because I genuinely liked all of it. So I don't really have like a lot of complaints for, I thought that was great. So,
all right, Nathan.
The first thing I liked was Jinx as Judy. It was just perfection. It gave me everything. The second thing I liked was Jinx as Natasha Lyonne. I thought that was also incredible, and I don't want it to get overshadowed by Judy, but she is just a powerhouse, this Jinx.
Yeah.
And I'm showing my hand, but I just loved it so much. And the thing I didn't like, again, I don't really have anything I didn't like. I'll just say we can maybe have the judges start being a little more critical.
Yeah, you know what?
Just a touch.
That's in my notes, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was part of the commentary. So when we get to the judging, when we get to that, I do have something to say about, because it's just basically based off of this All Stars and then the last season of Drag Race.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we see a dichotomy. So anyways, we'll get to it.
It isn't an episode unless Lauri drops the word dichotomy, by the way. I'm glad we got that in. We got the Lauri. I overspilled.
I was listening to something that we had done, and I meant to say wassailing, and I said waffling, and I was like, "Oh, you idiot!"
Yeah, Nathan, you and I are and actually Lauri too. I'm glad we're all in agreement here. First of all, fantastic Snatch game. Mm-hmm. I have my little quips, like my little thing. When we get into the Snatch game, I have little tiny things here and there. But for the most part, fantastic job. Here's a weird one, actually, and this is the thing that I like, is I found myself, I didn't take a lot of notes for this episode. And usually, if that were the case, I would be, because it's so horrible, I have nothing to say. It's so boring. But this is probably the first time that I can think of where I didn't have a lot of notes because it's just so good. Like, it's not like, I just find myself enjoying watching it and not really having a commentary. Just like, oh, well, that was fun. So that is a weird thing. The one thing I didn't like, and it's funny that Nathan, you said the same thing. I said the edit is a little too friendly. And I put in parentheses, I'm really grasping at straws to find something I didn't like. They could be a little harsher with the judges' critiques. Also, I think they could have been not shady or anything, but they could have been a little bit more real, let's say, during the Snatch game with the edits. I feel like everybody got a hero's edit on the Snatch game. Anyway, so those are the things that I have to say. Let's jump right into actually now the commentary.
After Shay's win, the queens return to the workroom a few minutes before Trinity strolls in, twirling the platinum plunger used to block her. Shay explains she felt Trinity was the queen most able to bounce back from an early block, and Trinity accepts her reasoning. Monet and Shay display their legendary legend badges proudly, and Ivy and Jinx plan to block queens with badges to slow them down. Next, RuPaul enters the workroom to announce this week's Maxi Challenge. It's time to play the Snatch game. But there's a twist. Each queen will be expected to impersonate two celebrities in a Snatch game doubleheader.
All right, let's go to Nathan here first. Nathan, did you have any big thoughts about, there really wasn't much happened because they're all getting along. So what would usually be a fight was done tongue in cheek here. But right after the episode taping, the de-dragging segment, the next day coming in, any big thoughts here, Nathan?
I just enjoyed that Trinity was hamming it up. She was, playing it up, and that was enjoyable. Yeah. I just think with all the blocking strategy chat that they have, I don't know. If it were me, I would not block someone who had just won the week before, because then I'm putting a target on my back for next week because I just won. So I'm hoping that gets mixed up a little bit and we start blocking some rando people.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah. What about you, Lauri?
So I think I kind of agree with blocking other people with people who want a star. And here's the reason is I feel like, and this is just me, this is something that Star and I were talking about on the first episode. If you block people, if you just block like certain people all the time, there's going to come a point where people are going to realize that there's nothing I can do now to get ahead. I am at the bottom and I'm going to be at the bottom. So then what's to stop that person from just totally screwing everyone else over and just, kind of ruining doing a challenge, but ruining the challenge for everyone and tanking it and making sure that nobody does well. So I think blocking somebody that already has a star is a good thing because you are stopping them from getting another star so close together, but also you're not blocking somebody who maybe doesn't have a lot of stars. And so you're not making them feel worse. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of my opinion.
Hey, Lauri, you mean ruining the challenge the way Joe ruins your fantastic jokes?
Wait, how did I get...
Yes, thank you, Jake. Wow, okay. I didn't like some of the stuff you said, but I'm really taking a corner on you.
Yeah.
Jake's on your side, Lauri.
Jake's a big fan.
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah. Nate, what I was thinking is actually like, and it's funny you guys didn't mention it, like Monet hinted at this, but what a brilliant strategy to be like, and I don't know if this is really her strategy, but it should be like, I want to get the badge, but she didn't say throwing the lip sync, but you don't necessarily want to win the lip sync, because then you put a target on your back. But you can get the badge. You're not going to get the money, but you're going to get the badge and not have to doesn't have to block someone. So
if you're part of the top two, you don't
get a
win,
badge.
you don't get blocked. Then
you can't get blocked if you're the top two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's also a lip sync showdown for the finale, so you want to save some lip sync tricks too.
Yeah,
so you don't want to go full force.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah, good point. I didn't even think about that too, Nathan. All right, very good. Any other thoughts on this? Not a lot to say about that. One must go on here. Here we go. Next part.
In the workroom, the queens prepare their characters for Snatch Game. The Vivienne has two classic UK celebrities. Shay is doing Jay Alexander from Top Model and TikTok sensation Elsa Majimbo. Jinx has chosen Natasha Lyonne and Judy Garland, and Monet is doing two men, Mike Tyson and Martin Lawrence. The Vivienne notes 4 queens have won Snatch Games on their season, and Ivy is nervous since her Whoopi Goldberg impression bombed. During the table visits, Trinity gives Rue a little of her Leslie Jordan and intends to work through her religious trauma as Satan. Raja demands retribution for losing her initial Snatch Game and reveals her characters, the Puppet Madam and Diana Vreeland.
Okay, let's go with Lauri Roggenkamp. Lauri, your thoughts here on everything in the workroom, the table visits, everything leading right up to the Snatch Game.
I loved it. I thought it was great. Yeah, just watching their process and everything, I thought was really fun. I will say this, I was nervous going into it when Shea Coulee said she was doing a TikTok star, and even Jada Essence Hall and Evie Oddly. I thought, like that, because that usually doesn't bode well for Snatch Game. So that made me a little nervous. But now that I have hindsight and I see that they did a good job, I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine. Those are my only thoughts.
Yeah, I'm with you, Lauri. The black people make me nervous too.
Is that what you were saying, Lauri?
No, it's not what I was saying at all. Jake, come on. You gotta don't read into these things. This isn't that. I don't like this.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. I didn't take what you said that way, but one of your fans did.
Yeah, you got to be careful with your words.
Yeah. What about you, Nathan? What were your thoughts there?
I agree with Lauri. It was just fun to see a little bit of banter in the lead up to the Snatch Game. I was wondering, I know we talked about this yesterday or last episode, Joe. Do we think that Trinity picking Satan is like a reference to She-Devil by Night?
Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh my God. Or maybe, no. I'm flipping it. I'm flipping it to, because they taped this like last summer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm flipping it to, she had done this, it was in her brain, and then made the Reddit username based on that.
Wow. Proof. We've got proof.
Receipts, mama. Receipts.
Wow.
Lauri,
Correct.
what do you think about this whole She Devil by Night?
I don't know anything about it.
What do you mean?
What is She Devil by Night?
You've really got to listen to the episodes, Lauri.
The episodes of the podcast?
Of this podcast, yeah.
I haven't listened to this last one. I was going to listen to it on my drive to work tomorrow.
Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I don't. Maybe Jake can help you out here because Jake's your biggest fan.
Lauri, will you please shut the fuck up with your no drag knowledge mouth?
Oh my God.
Oh, wow, he's taking a turn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jake.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, okay. Nathan, did you say everything you had to say?
Yeah, sure. I just did note as well that Vivian saying that character acting is her safe space. I thought that was a bit wanky, and I was just wondering if Lauri, you're a character actress.
Oh, that's right.
Like,
yeah.
Do you find it to be a safe space?
Not even a little bit. Am I a character actress?
Lauri, you are an icon in the improv and character and comedy scene in Los Angeles.
I'm an icon for not being a character actress. That's
Didn't you just slay the Groundlings?
I was in the Groundlings, but I mean, honestly, I don't think I was a character.
I thought you were always in character. Like,
no.
I thought Lauri was the character.
Yeah.
No, this is me.
Sadly,
this is me.
Her real name's Michelle. Yeah, this is a whole
Michelle.
Yeah,
I'm actually Michelle Visage.
Yeah, but Lauri, you're gonna be. I mean, we're gonna come to you to judge these characters.
Oh no, I mean, I understand. I actually thought it was kind of cute because it was like you could tell that she was confident about it and that this is something that she. And there are people who that is their safe space. Like they're very, there are a lot of people at the Groundlings who are very shy, timid people off stage, like as themselves. But then when they get on stage, they're very like, their characters come out and they play these like very boisterous characters. And it's great. It's great to watch. So yeah, I totally can see where they're coming from.
I would say Kristen Wiig is a lot like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Molly Shannon.
Yeah.
Is a lot like Cherry O'Terry, Melissa McCarthy.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Will Ferrell. Marjorie Taylor. Not many people know this. Marjorie Taylor Greene actually started at Acme.
Yeah, she did.
So, yeah. That's where she developed her character.
I mean, her name even sounds like a name you would have for your SNL audition package.
It was.
My name's Marjorie Taylor Greene. And, you're like, oh, that's like, it sounds like a made up Groundlings name.
Part of me just thinks that the Republican Party is literally just all actors who have just decided they're going to live their characters.
Yeah.
They're just going to live as their characters.
So, I found it kind of rich. So, yes, Shay has won a Snatch game, but not to take anything away. It was a Snatch game of love in a fairly weak All-Star season. It was fine. It was passable. But they were showing, they said at one point, there are people who literally wrote the book on Snatch Game. You put Trinity in there, yeah. Jinx Monsoon, for sure. And then they showed Shay, I'm like, meh.
Yeah.
I don't know if she really has. I mean, she did a fine one on All-Stars 5, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's like Deja going on about how she won Snatch Game, and it's like, well, you just weren't the worst.
Yeah.
Do you think Deja Skye looks at this and goes, yeah, I'm at that caliber? I'll say this. Does. I didn't even like every character on this one, and they were all better than Deja Skye. Every single one.
Yeah.
Every single one. By the way,
disagree.
Go ahead. Oh,
I think that there were some characters that were the same as hers.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah. I think she was passable. And I think that was the crowning glory.
Yeah, hold on.
So,
Jake, do you have anything to say here about this, what Lauri just said?
Lauri, will you please shut the fuck up with your no drag knowledge mouth?
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Jake.
I gotta be honest with you. I keep thinking, it just sounds so weird that, first off, it takes so long for Jake to comment. You seem to be typing something.
I'm drinking tea.
Also at the same time, he's just saying things that seem very much like stuff you would say.
Wait, about how much he likes your comedy and stuff like that?
Yes.
Okay, well, we know someone who doesn't believe in Santa Claus. All right, well, before we get into the Snatch Game, let's take a break. And when we come back, we will talk about the rest of the episode. We'll be back right after this. All right, we are back, and now it's time for the Snatch game. They did it in 2 rounds. We have 2 rounds to talk about here. Let's talk about round 1 first. Round 1, we'll just go down the line because we have a lot to get through here. And let's just give our thoughts. And then first we have Mike Tyson, played by Monet Exchange. Your thoughts on Mike Tyson, Nathan?
I thought this one was fine. I don't know. Is Mike Tyson known for fucking people in the ass? Because that seems to have been a common joke. And I was like, I'm missing something.
Well, look, I'm going to get a little trickier here. I mean, I don't know about that specifically, but he was in prison for rape, wasn't he, Lauri?
Yeah.
Oh.
Didn't he also tell somebody in a press conference or a fight for a press for a fight that he's going to fuck him in the ass?
Maybe.
Oh.
I remember
I
remember as a kid, I had very little access to anything, but my family would watch boxing or something like that, and I remember masturbating to Mike Tyson because he just had this like super ripped, muscly body. So
was it when he bit the Evander Holyfield's ear?
Yes. Laura, your thoughts on Mike Tyson?
I mean, I thought this was very Deja with the yeah.
Oh, I think this is way better.
I'm gonna fuck him in the ass.
She also had the bit about saying the wrong words and stuff, which isn't a super original bit.
I thought it did well. It was passable.
But also, what I'm going to say is, Deja just did that yeah, but Monet would jump in and snipe at other people with other lines and stuff like that. I think it was I think better than Deja.
Well, I will say this, just so I can get this out of the way.
Yeah.
I think what frustrated me the most about this episode was we saw that RuPaul can set up the show, this Snatch game to be supportive,
yes,
and make the people feel good, and 100%. She can do that. And I think that's what she should do every single time, because if this is an audience based, like, even though it's live, right? Even though we're watching it on TV, it's audience based. You feed off the laughter of the live audience, in order to know what to do next. And last season, she provided nothing for them. Absolutely nothing. She wanted them to fail. And this season, we see that she wanted all of them to succeed. So she pulled out all the stops.
Let me ask you a question, Lauri, because you are an expert in this field. RuPaul knows these queens, or at least most of them, fairly well. Well,
not their names, but he knows them.
Yeah. And he knows Michelle, he knows Ross. On what level do you think just them all knowing each other and knowing their strengths and weaknesses plays into how RuPaul plays with them?
Oh, I think very much. But as we'll see, I mean, I think it heightened it. What it did was, because they all know each other, they all trust each other, they've been working together for a while.
That was my next question. Okay.
Yeah, I think it heightens it. So yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Jada Essence Hall with Prince succeeded because it was a welcoming, trusting environment. And that's what you need in comedy to thrive. Yeah. If you are not getting laughs and you're not trusting yourself, then you're not going to do very well.
But we were talking about this on the last episode. I mean, there's so many things at play here that we can analyze. I wonder too, because no one's being eliminated, they can take a lot more risks. Does that make sense? Because they're not going to go home. And it allows them to have more fun and to be more cohesive as a team, and also lift each other up, not trying to sabotage the other.
I agree with you, but I also feel like that, again, is a producer-driven thing. And
okay. All right. You want to weigh in on this, Nate, before we move on?
I think you're on the money, Lauri. I agree with you. And I'll also just add that, I don't always like Ru and Michelle at times, but seeing them enjoy each other and when they laugh and look at each other and share the laughter, I was getting good vibes from them. Yeah. And I was like, I like them in this moment because they're having fun and, enjoying the show.
Yeah, I agree. So what I'm talking about is just very, very beginner level, right? And then you put the layers of they all know and trust each other, right? And then you put the layers of they're not getting eliminated, so they can take risk. And then you put the layer of they're winners and they're all genuinely funny people to an extent, right? And you just keep adding on. And then that's why these two Snatch games, I mean, if we were last season, right, and we were told, oh, we're going to do 2 Snatch games, I think I would have physically cried if I knew that I had to watch 2 Snatch games from last season.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as Mike Tyson goes, I thought it was it wasn't like, well, here's the thing. I think all of these would be winners in different ways. But with with all the other caliber people, I would say it was in my bottom.
Okay. Lauri.
Yeah, fucked you in your ass.
Yeah. Yeah, Nathan's boyfriend was in his bottom yesterday. But let me ask you this question, Lauri, just to be sure. You're not taking this much time with each of the Snatch Game characters, right?
No.
Okay. All right.
I just wanted to get this out of the way, and then we're good.
Okay. All right, next we had the puppet Madam, as played by Raja. Very curious to hear Lauri's take on this. Go ahead, Lauri.
I loved it. Again, it wasn't the best one, but I thought that, I know of Waylon's Flowers and Madam. I've never seen them. And so to bring a character that no one's seen.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, people, you haven't seen it. No one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to say it that way. But look, I haven't seen, and to make it relatable and funny, which I think all of them did, was great. I thought the one thing Raja did with both her characters really well was the makeup and the accessories. So I really like that.
Nathan?
I agree with Lauri. I wasn't that familiar, but I thought the puppet physicality was great. The makeup transformation was great. And I just think it was really good because Ru was giving them a bit more attention and laughing along, whereas last season, Ru wasn't doing that. And I think at a base level, you need to have that. Then you need to have the familiarity. And then you need to have them all being winners. And then you need to have all of that going on. And I think that's what frustrated me with watching last season.
Yeah.
Good point. Wow, Nathan, I never thought of it that way.
I'm going to give a little bit of lesson to this because I think I've talked about Waylon Flowers and Madam on the show before. I am a huge fan. Huge. The true origin of the character was this total homosexual man, Waylon Flowers. Fucking name was Waylon Flowers. And he had this puppet Madam who was based on a drag queen. And they started in the gay clubs and got super, super popular in like the bathhouses and gay bars in New York and LA. And then they got swept up by television. And of course, television sanitized her. But if you can find old videos and routines of Madam, she's super dirty. She's super, super dirty and a very, very gay humor. And so what a great way to bring her back. Because Waylon Flowers died of AIDS. And since then, there's been unclear who has control of Madam and the people are fighting. And there's these random people who weren't funny like Waylon Flowers who'd use Madam in like Branson, Missouri. It's really awful. But I will say, and it's great, fantastic. I will say at least one of the jokes was an actual Madam joke. Like the Summer Jewels joke is an actual Madam joke. That's not like a made up joke that Raja did. That's an actual, you can hear Madam
really?
say that.
Okay.
Yeah. But still a very clever, great choice to do Madam. And I hope people seek out Waylon Flowers. I'll post something in the Discord where HBO in the very, very, very early years, put up a Waylon Flowers and Madam like show on HBO, and that one's dirty. And so you can kind of see the full effect. Yeah. So,
Joe,
all right. Yes, sir.
I have puppet shows at bathhouses. Has that always been a thing? Like, have you ever watched a puppet show at a bathhouse?
You know what? In the late 60s, early 70s, maybe before that, at least in San Francisco and place in New York, they would have shows in bathhouses. Really weird. It's how Bette Midler got her start, and Barry Manilow was her piano player. In the Bette Midler got her start in the bathhouses. So,
now, Joe, I have a question. Is this how long you're going to talk about every drag queen?
No. But I will say, when I was looking at Madam, all right, one thing to take into consideration is first, Ru has to go with the fact that she's running a show, right? Then she knows Michelle and Ru knows Michelle and Ross, right? Then all of these queens have been on the show, okay? Then you have a layer that some of them have done All-Stars, so she knows them twice, okay? Then they all know each other because they've been on tour together, right? Then you have the fact that no one's being eliminated, okay? And you take all those things into consideration. I mean, we could go on forever, but I'm not.
I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So, anyway, all right. Next, we have Joanna Lumley, as played by the Vivian. I'll go right now. I don't know who the fuck. I mean, I know some Absolutely Fabulous. Taylor's gotten mad at me before. I never watched that show, so it meant nothing to me. But we'll start with Nathan because he has an accent.
Well, I know it was a good impression. I haven't watched a lot of Ab Fab either, but watching it, I was like, oh, I know she's nailing it. I might not get the Chanel joke, but I know she's nailing it. And I think it would have, similar to her next character, I think it would have killed on a UK season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how embarrassing I am. When she said Chanel, that she was talking about the season 1 All Stars 1 contestant, Chanel. I wasn't even thinking about the actual cosmetic line. Lauri, your thoughts?
I thought it was great. I agree with you. I think she would have killed it in UK. I think even like if she had been on like a regular Drag Race, that would have done well. I do feel like she teeter-tottered between, which is something with character impersonation, where she tried to be she tried too much the character and not enough of the, like, just kind of camping it out with Ru. But she caught herself. Mm-hmm. And she would, I thought she did a good job of kind of catching herself and not trying to stick too much in character mode. So,
all right,
yeah, I thought she did a really good job.
All right, let's go to Trinity the Tuck as Satan. Your thoughts, Lauri, on Trinity the Tuck?
I think Ross said it. I mean, as soon as she talked, you knew, okay, this is a very gay, effeminate gay Satan, right? Which is not, again, I think I think one of the fun things about this is that none of these tropes that these drag queens are doing are new. They're not breaking, the creativity bank, I guess, trying to come up with like new stuff. They're not like a gay robot or anything like that. They're just like, it's just like a gay devil, which we've seen many times, but they just do it in such a fun, campy way that you just can't help but love it and laugh at it. And I thought Trinity nailed it. I thought she did a great job.
Nathan?
Yeah, I agree with what you were saying. It's not new, but the way she wrote like bottom, but spelt it BTM in one of her responses, I was like, well, that's hilarious. Like, it's that nuance that really nailed it for me, and I thought it was great.
And just like when I think it was Michelle goes, oh, thank you. She goes, oh, like she just was like making sense. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it wasn't like, I would agree with Lauri. It wasn't a new characterization. We've seen gay Satans before. I mean, South Park. I mean, that's the whole thing. But it was a fresh, from her perspective, A, and B. I mean, you can have a characterization that's been done before, but it has to be funny, and she was funny. Yeah. She was quick and she was funny, and so you gotta give it to her. All right, Jinx Monsoon is Natasha Lyonne. Let's start with Nathan, who was already a big fan.
I loved it. I thought it was a great choice. She had the voice, the wig, and I think Jinx is the best at Snatch Game because she's good at the responding to the question and then topping it up with a story and just going on her own path. And she nails that. And like her joke about tiny tops looking like a 4-year-old moving a couch on their own, like it was just funny.
That was great.
Yeah.
I actually missed that when I was high. So I was glad I rewatched it today because I was like, oh, I didn't even hear that joke.
Yeah. What do you think, Lauri?
I loved it. I totally agree with Nathan. I think that she does, there are some queens that we'll talk to who like struggle with kind of being their character. They try to present their character almost, and they struggle with being it. And I thought in both cases, she was Natasha Lyonne, and I thought she did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, if someone didn't know Snatch Game, I wonder if they would even know those were the same people. Oh yeah. First of all, let's start off. Let's say they assigned a character, how would you do the fact that she was able to pull up? Like, how would you pull a Natasha Lyonne? It was this weird mix of like nailing her, but yet doing or saying nothing that Natasha Lyonne would say. Like, exactly. I laughed out loud when she was like, I just quit smoking as she's lighting a cigarette.
Yeah.
I thought that was super funny, And
it's great.
Yeah, it was just top notch. It was so good. Masterclass, I think, in doing Snatch Game. Right there, Natasha Lyonne. All right, next we have Evie Oddly as Rico Nasty. Let's start with you, Lauri. Your thoughts on Rico Nasty?
So this one was one of the ones where she was presenting the character. She wasn't being the character.
Okay.
You know, she was presenting Rico Nasty. Mm-hmm. So like for example, we see Natasha Lyonne, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rue introduces Natasha Lyonne. They have a conversation. Then we get to Rico Nasty, and Rico Nasty doesn't ask anything, doesn't talk to Rue at all. She just kind of presents her, you know, and like gives her like slug line almost of her character.
Yeah.
And she's like, I gotta get this out because I got people to know that I'm, you know, that this is my character and this is what my character is about, rather than showing it through conversation with Rue.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought she did a good job. I thought she did a passable job. So I think if this was like a regular Snatch game, I think they would have probably passed, but I don't know if they would have like, you know, gotten so many laughs.
Nathan, what do you think?
I think if this was a regular Snatch game, this would be the bottom. And I don't know if it's just because I don't know Rico Nasty, but I didn't laugh.
Well, this is one of those people that I was talking about. In fact, she and Shay, who's next, are both examples of this, where they got very, very friendly edits. They were a shade rattle away from being bad. And it was just the way it was presented, the way it was cut, the way it was shown. They were hoping you wouldn't look. Like, nothing to see here, you know, they kind of just zip by the joke and just moved on. Where they, on a regular season, if they would have been I think it would have been passable in a regular season, and they would have been safe, but they definitely got a very, very, very favorable edit. They really, really did. Go ahead. Let's go first to Elsa Majimbo, another person I have no idea who this is. She's played by Shea Coulee. What were your thoughts here, Nathan?
Yeah, I also didn't know who Elsa Majimbo was. I think she was better than Evie, but she was, bottom of the bunch. But, yeah, she was all right. I thought she was all right. That joke about feeding a Kenyan tribe or whatever it was, I was like, okay, all right, that's something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lauri?
I thought she did really well. I think if this was another one, I think she would be in the top because
really?
I think she did really well.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought she did. Mm-hmm. I thought she did really well. She made the character. You know, we were like, okay, well, this is the gist of the character. I get this. So the one thing I will say, and then I think this is a flaw with a lot of people, is when you do a character who has an accent and you try and be true to that accent. If it's a thick accent, it's going to be hard for people to understand.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to lose the jokes because you're trying, you know, so it's like kind of ease up on the accent a little bit. That was my only note that I have.
All right. Next we have Jada Essence Hall as Prince. Your thoughts here, Lauri Roggenkamp. Lauri and Kay Roggenkamp. Your thoughts on Jada Essence Hall, characterization as Prince.
Oh, I thought she was so smart in this character, but this character, in my opinion, would not have been successful if it had not been for this particular Snatch game. Mm-hmm. Because what she did is she read the room. She read the audience. And she realized she was not going to be able to imitate Prince. So she just said, like, I'm sexy. And then that got a big laugh. So she kept going with I'm a man. So she kept kind of moving forward with that. So she, like, heightened the game of her character, which is just like, it's almost like an anti-Prince almost.
Mm-hmm. Your thoughts, Nathan?
I agree. I really liked it. I thought it was funny, and I thought she looked really hot.
Yeah, she was something really sexy about her.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the little mustache.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
But she looked good. And I was glad to see her in that outfit at the end of the episode as well, because I was like, yeah, she hot.
Yeah. And then also, like Lauri was saying, is she was able to, because she realized she couldn't go home, and she wouldn't go home, she could play. She had the freedom and the confidence to play, which made it a good thing. I think if she would have done this on her own season that she was on, it would have gone in a much different direction. All right, let's go to Oh, you know what? Question. If you had to pick a winner of this round, who would you pick? Lauri.
For this round?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Let me think about it. Can you ask Nathan?
Jinx.
Lauri.
Did that give you enough time to think?
I would say Trinity.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? I would say Jinx. 100%. All right, next. Snatch Game round 2. Okay, who lost that round? I'm sorry, who lost that round?
Evie.
Yeah, Evie, 100%.
Yeah, Evie.
All right, Snatch Game round 2. We have Catherine Tate as portrayed by the Vivian. Again, I don't know who the fuck that person is. I think she may have been a guest judge on UK, but I could be wrong.
Catherine Tate's a very funny UK comedian. She was on the Doctor Who, and she also had her own Catherine Tate sketch show, which I recommend everyone watching. It's very funny. And that is a specific character that she plays called Nana or Nan or something.
Oh, okay.
And it's just, so it's the same thing with Martin Lawrence. That it's not Martin Lawrence, it's the character that Martin Lawrence
Which
plays.
gets confusing when you get to the character, because this one we think, okay, all right. So as Lauri, since you know that character, how was it?
Oh, great.
Oh, really?
I will say again, though, she did falter, and she kind of did the thing that Shay did, where her, even Rue pointed out, is like her accent was so thick.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point of the character, kind of, is that she's just like a mumbly, old woman. So her accent's very thick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to hear some of the jokes. So I will say that she kind of faltered in that, but her the character itself was great. She did a great job.
Nathan?
Yeah, I agree. I think, again, it would have killed in the UK. I thought she had a great makeup transformation, which usually I think is not important at all, but she just did such a good job of it. I think it needs to be mentioned. And I feel like the edit was generous, yes, but I feel like we saw her answer less questions. And when we did see her, it was her interacting with the other people. So I don't know if they cut some more stuff around her, but I think she probably would have done more. Yeah.
But Lauri, let me ask you a question. This applies to Monet as Martin Lawrence's character, who I can't remember her name, and Catherine Tate, and even Joanna Lumley, is if you're not portraying the actor and you're portraying a character that they've created, well, then aren't you really just not stealing, but aren't you really using the work of somebody else? Like, how much credit can you really take from it?
Well, I think you could. I mean, impressionism is impressionism. You could say that about any impressionist.
Well, when I do
from somebody,
I go around and I do impressions of you all over the country.
Yeah.
Okay. And
you do my stand up, Joe. That's what.
Oh yeah. Like I go up there and I'm like, "Hi everyone, I'm a virgin." Except I don't think I'm one of the virgins that the terrorists are thinking of when they crash into buildings.
It's a good joke.
Thank you.
Well, I said the joke.
I'm taking credit. As a white woman, I'm taking credit.
It is your joke. By the way, that is around a 2006 Lauri Roggenkamp joke, actually.
Ironically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I mean, you could say that about Judy Garland. Jinx is Judy Garland. She even said in the workroom that it's not her impression, it's somebody else's impression, and they let her take it. So you could say like, oh, she's not really, the funny one. It's somebody else who did that impression and gave it to Jinx, but Jinx killed it. So it's like, it's sort of and when you're an impressionist, you're given these tools, and if you can use them correctly, then it's great. If not, then, you're screwed.
Let's jump over to the Boogeyman as portrayed by Evie Oddly. Your thoughts on this one, Nathan?
I thought this was better than her other effort. I think she probably made a really good call in going with a sort of imagined character that it's harder for her to screw up because it's just, pulled out of the air. So again, I didn't think it was that funny, but I think it was much better and passable.
I couldn't even pay attention because she was so fucking hot.
So attractive.
Was it the chest hair that did it?
It was everything. It was the afro. It was
the afro and the eyes, and it was like, Jesus, what's going on?
Lauri's a lesbian, and she got turned. Like I was like, he could do whatever he wants to me right now. That person could do whatever he wants to me. Now, in Lauri's world, she means break into her house and steal her television. I mean have sex.
It's not.
Okay?
That's not what it means.
Okay. Anyway, that reminds me, Lauri had a character. It was so offensive in 2006.
I did not.
Called Jive Turkey. I can't get it. You have to go to work. You have to go into work, Nathan. So I can't get into the character Jive Turkey.
It's not. Please, let's just stop this. Please.
Leslie Jordan as portrayed by Trinity the Tuck. Lauri, wait. Lauri, did you have any other thoughts on the Boogeyman, by the way?
No, it's just very attractive.
Leslie Jordan by Trinity. Lauri.
So funny. So funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was very, very, very funny.
Which is tough because Leslie Jordan's already funny, and I think it's hard to take a funny person and make them funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little worried that it was just going to be like, oh, he's really short jokes, which it kind of was, but they did it in a funny way. That was great.
All right. Nathan, do you have any thoughts?
I thought it was fantastic. Great choice. I thought the visual joke was funny, just seeing how short he was, because he makes fun of himself for being short, so I feel like it's okay for us to laugh along.
Yeah.
Although I noticed in the workroom walkthrough, she did have like a little puppet body. Which didn't get used.
It didn't get used. So. Yeah. Okay. The Lady Chablis, Nathan.
I didn't really connect with this one that much. I didn't really find that funny.
Lauri?
I would say this one was, I don't want to say worse because it wasn't bad. It just wasn't it was out of both Snatch games, this one was the least funny. She had some good, she answered the questions and she had some good retorts, but I don't know if it was maybe just exhaustion from all the other queens or she just played it too mellow. Yeah. And I don't think it worked for her.
You know, it's so funny is the only reason I know about Lady Chablis, who was a real drag queen, I think she's passed, I'm not sure, but is her role in the real life true crime of the Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil book, which is a true crime book, which is a gay, we should actually probably cover it on Murder Tonight, our gay true crime show.
Yeah.
But, and she was a sort of ancillary character in that whole drama. But I don't really know that much about her other than she's like an iconic drag queen. That's all I know. So I don't know that much about her. And she was actually involved in the real crime and she's in the film that they made of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Jay Alexander as portrayed by Shea Coulee. Let's go with you, Lauri Roggenkamp. Your thoughts here.
This one was okay. I don't know who the person is that she was portraying. And I thought she had some funny moments, but it was mostly just people reacting to her character. So I don't know if I would consider her to be funny. Yeah. I would say out of the two, this was her least funny character.
Nathan?
Yeah, I'm agreeing. I thought it was passable, but not as funny as Elsa Majumbo.
It's weird because I feel that Jay Alexander was a person, I don't know if he's still alive, but he was on America's Next Top Model, was like one of the walking consultants or something like that, and a judge. And is so outrageous and outlandish. There's so much you could have done, and I was surprised it wasn't taken there. I feel like there's so much you could have done with Miss J that I was surprised that Shay didn't go there. And I don't want to speculate as to why, because Shay will hunt me down and kill me. Okay. Next, we had Diana Vreeland as performed by Raja O'Hara. Right, Raja. Nathan, what are your thoughts here?
I thought she did a great job. I thought the makeup was fantastic. She had some of the lines. I feel like maybe Robbie Turner did this character before and it wasn't as great. So this was good for me.
Somebody said that, somebody said that this character has been done before and it wasn't done well. My producer, Zach, mentioned it in the notes that this character's been done before.
And I think that's the only reason I knew the name. I was like, how do I know that name? And then I was like, I think it's from Snatch Game.
Lauri, what about you?
I loved it. I thought her makeup was amazing. I will say that that she was going into a place where she had that bit with her character where she pronounced her words in a comical way. And so I think there was I think she maybe did get a little bit of a supportive edit because, I think that could have turned into a very kind of exhausting situation if she's constantly, trying to over enunciate her words. So I think she was given a very soft edit this time too. But the character was funny. So, the moments that they did show, I thought were very funny and her Purple Mittens was hilarious. Purple Mittens was hilarious. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it was passable. I don't think it was the greatest thing ever. And I think the Madam was better, but it was good. And the makeup was fantastic. All right. We have Martin Lawrence, as portrayed by Monet Exchange, doing a character who I can't remember the name of the character.
I think it's Shanae.
Shanae.
Yeah.
Lauri, your thoughts on Shanae?
I mean, it really wasn't Shanae. So that was kind of what I thought was so weird. Is it was like her doing Monet X Change, doing Martin Lawrence in Shanae drag, like in Shanae outfit.
Yeah.
So it was. I mean, it was just really Monet X Change in drag. I mean, she was funny, but I don't really feel like it was. You know, it was good. I thought it was good. It just didn't really seem like I wouldn't have looked at that and thought, oh, that's definitely a Shanae impression. So
Nathan?
Yeah, I was so confused. I was watching it and I was Googling Martin Lawrence and I was like, is this the guy from Bad Boys? I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I just assumed it was like a drag character, but
he had a comedy show where he used to do characters and stuff like that before.
Right.
Yeah, he had a comedy show called Martin where he did like several different characters and then also sexually harassed and stalked his co-star. So that's fun.
So maybe she should have played into jokes more about that.
Yeah.
Because that's always hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, whenever we do these long lists and stuff like that, we start losing steam. So we're like, all right, well, next. But let's end on a good one. Jinx Monsoon as Judy Garland.
Oh my God.
I'll let Nathan weigh in first.
So fantastic. I've just been watching like the clips of it over and over again. I just think she was so funny and the impression was great. The mic with the long cord, the singing, the reference to Dave the veteran, like it could not be better. Yeah. Calling Rue Broom.
Yeah.
Like everything was funny.
Yeah, everything was good. And also anyone who's watched Judy Garland from that era on television, I mean, it was a spot-on inspired impression. I mean, that's literally what Judy Garland was like. I mean, literally on television was exactly, even the improvised answers were like delivered the way Judy would have delivered them. It was inspired, almost like she channeled her. It was super weird.
I don't know why, but my favorite part of the whole thing was when she would go, "Is this my camera?"
Yeah.
Is this my camera?
Yeah.
It was just like, I started dying. Yeah, it was great. It was truly like above and beyond. And you could just tell that like Rue trusted her completely, you know, and just was like ready for the humor.
Rue was dying.
Oh, yeah. It was great. When she brought up the thing about Dan or whatever, Dave. And both Michelle and Rue looked at, I mean, it was like, you could see genuinely that they were just having the time of their life. Yeah. This was like, this was a great moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was awesome.
I mean, it's also, I mean, how hard is it nowadays to one, she was already in the Hall of Fame of Snatch Game, and to catapult two characters into like the Snatch Game Hall of Fame, like immediately go to the front of the line. Like, I think it's even better than her one from Grey Gardens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah.
And she was just so ready. Like, Rue was ready to wrap it up. And she was like, oh, I've got another song. And she just kept going. And I loved that. Like, yeah, don't stop because Rue says stop. Yeah. Keep going. You've got the jokes. You've got the songs. Do it.
I haven't watched all the Snatch Games. But I feel like of the like 5 or 6 that I've watched, I feel like this one ended on the best button that could have ever been.
Yes, it didn't need that whole like, and the winner is, who cares? They didn't need it. They had the perfect. You're right. You know where that comes from, though, Lauri? The layers. It comes from they all trust each other. They've all worked together. They've all won. They're all
Somebody
confident.
Needs to put this on a rug.
Yeah, that Aladdin rug. The
Aladdin rug. We need
Can you imagine? Nathan went to this Aladdin shitty tour, right? And he was like, "I need
Why
that.
Why is it shitty?
I need that blanket.
I would get that blanket."
Oh, on that. Speaking of buttons to end on, all right, Jake, why don't you give us the next act?
It's runway day, and the queens are getting ready for the runway. Ivy feels her performance was solid, but doesn't expect to win. The Vivian predicts Jinx, Trinity, and Raja as the top 3 queens of the week, much to Raja's surprise. Monet asks Jinx her strategy for blocking, and Jinx admits she plans to block someone with a star, meaning Monet and Shea are in her sights.
All right, let's start with you, Nathan. What were your thoughts on everything happening runway day? Now, it's not elimination day because no one gets eliminated.
Yeah, there's not really that much to say. They were just debriefing on the Snatch game, and I think they all pretty much had the same thoughts we did. Jinx was great.
Yeah. Lauri?
No, I agree. I thought it was funny that they said 3, or they said 2, and then she gave 3 people.
Yeah.
That's 3. I did also, I mean, I know that it's sort of like, it's not, she doesn't really mean it, but I did also think it was kind of like a little perturbed. I was a little perturbed when Monet Exchange was like seemed flustered that Jinx was going to block one of them. And it's like, you've seen this coming. You know that this is a thing. Mm-hmm. So that kind of was a little, okay.
All right. Now, Lauri, you and I don't give a shit about the looks, but Nathan like takes copious notes and he wants to share his thoughts on the looks. Go ahead, Nathan.
Sure. So the runway was the pleather principal, and Monet came out first, and I thought her look was amazing. She was wearing this like bronzed statue look with the abs and a giant bow. I thought it was incredible. Top toot. Then we had Evie. She was in like an anime Harajuku style look, which I thought was good. It was fine.
So Lauri, what are you having for dinner?
Oh,
Jake, Nathan's in the middle of talking now.
Thank you. I'm going to have some Costco fettuccine Alfredo.
Okay. Sorry about that, Nathan. Go ahead.
Jake, you're on my list, mate. Okay, so then Raja, she was wearing like a red jacket with like a blue snakeskin style dress and headpiece. Apparently it was Bowie, London, 1974. I didn't really get it, but, you know, good for her. And so then Trinity, she wore a cute puffer vest pastel style outfit, which I thought was cute. Not amazing, but cute.
Yeah.
The Vivian, she came out with like red with giant shoulder pads. I thought that was a
I'm
really
just chilling
fun
here.
look.
Might go out for some Thai food later.
Jake.
Good to know.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
Sorry, but Nathan, I don't know what's wrong with him. I think he's bored. Okay, go ahead, Nathan. Sorry.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so then Jinx, she did the old school madam look with pink and teal pleather. I thought that was great and very Jinx. And Jada, I loved this one. She did a Matrix style look. It was very 90s. I was very into it. And then we had Shay, who was like Catwoman, but with pale pink pleather with graffiti on it. I thought it wasn't super out of the box, but it was well done. And those were the looks. Jake?
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I know. I don't know what Jake's problem is, you know. He's a dick.
There's a place by here that serves all kinds of Asian food, but don't even try to drive in that parking lot.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
God, Jesus fucking Christ, Jake.
Jake needs to stop stealing Lauri's jokes.
I know.
It's not my joke.
You should sue Lauri.
By the way, when Lauri's not here next week, I'll tell you about Jive Turkey, her character.
No.
What do you mean no?
I did not do a character named Jive Turkey.
But character acting is your safe space.
It's not.
Those are the looks. All right, Jake, take this home.
On the main stage, RuPaul names Jinx and Trinity the top 2 All-Stars of the week. Jinx wins a Legendary Legend badge and they both battle it out in a lip-sync battle for their legacies. The song? Rumor Has It by Adele. After the lip-sync, Jinx Monsoon is named the winner and uses the Platinum Plunger to block Shea Coulee. Ladies, any final thoughts on the episode?
Let's start with you, Lauri Roggenkamp. You're a big guest. Did you have any thoughts on the lip sync? Any thoughts you didn't get out from your notes?
No, I genuinely loved it. I thought it was great. I wish that we could see this kind of like support and fun every Snatch game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we know.
All right. Nathan?
Yeah, I loved it as well. There's not much to say about the end of the episode. I think the lip sync song was good. It's not the best lip sync I've ever seen. I do prefer the Glee version of Rumor Has It, so it was a shock to hear the original. But yeah, it was good. And I still enjoy the walking up and down and milking it with the who they're going to give the plunger to. Okay. Like, I thought I might get over that, but just watching Jinx just walk up and down, I loved it.
All right. And all your notes have been given?
Yeah, sure.
All right. One of the things I forgot to mention during the looks, because Jake was making these offensive things, is I didn't know who the fucking who this fucking person was on the thing. So I looked her up, and she's like an English socialite and whatnot. Not shocking, right? But one of the things that was interesting was she was also a model and a really good friend of Alexander McQueen. And I guess Alexander McQueen committed suicide a day of one of his shows, and she was in the show. And so she wore a veil in mourning during the runway walk. And so when she gives Monet that Alexander McQueen compliment, I mean, that's coming from someone who really knew him. So,
right.
Or well, the person that Monet had paid to make that dress.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know who she was either, but I thought she was really good on the panel. And there's a cute moment in Untucked where Jinx says she had styled a wig after like her iconic hairstyle or something, and she signed the wig. So it was
she
nice.
Signed. How do you sign a wig?
Yeah, you sign like the little bit underneath it, in the netting.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Both lip syncs were good. I think I like Jinx's take a little bit more. It was a little bit more refined, a little bit more put together. I could see almost a person doing an Adele impression doing something like that. Trinity went the campy route, but that wasn't bad. It was good. But I thought Jinx edged it out a little bit. All right. Lauri, thank you so much for being here. Nathan, I'll see you next week. And
thanks, everyone.
Jake, why don't you take us out of the show?
Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Be sure to join us next week, and every week, as we continue to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct each brand new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star 7. So, for Nathan Brown, Lauri Roggenkamp, and myself.
Sashay away until next week. I thought Jake was going to say it, I'm sorry.
Thank you for listening to RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Have something to say? Leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/afterthoughtmedia or email us at dragracerecap@afterthought.media. For more Drag Race and LGBTQ content, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. This episode was produced by Luke Stamen and Zach Birch. Nathan Brown has 2 other podcasts. The first is Breaking Down Bad Books and the other is called Bravo Bravo Effing Bravo. You can find those podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find Nathan on Instagram at NathanBrown90. Finally, follow Joe Betance on Instagram at Joe Betance. Special thanks to our expensive tier Patreon supporters: Agnes Yeshopinska, Alex S., April Pacheco, Up2 Sky, Brad Coley, Karina Williamson, Dave O., Deck Head, Elizabeth Timmer, Emma E. Smith, Boastful Cake, J. Thomas Plank, Jesse Harris, Anonymous, Lauren Eckert, Doofus Maximus, Lucy Carrasco, Luke Stammen, Mercedes Mueller, Nicholas Springham, Nikki Baker, Poppy Woods, Ricardo Herrera, Robert NYC, Sarah Yu, Tom Bums, Travis Newland, Troy Anderson, Zach Nelson. Drag Race Recap is an Afterthought Media podcast.